Joe Burrow started very slow. Even lost to the Dynasty Gap Year 3 Patriots at home to start the season last year. He also rarely, what? They did lose. He also rarely plays in the preseason, which Zach Taylor has decided to change. My response, about time. Burrow's career, in weeks 1 and 2, he is 1-9. His completion percentage, passing yards a game, touchdown interception ratio, and passer rating, all worse. And then he decides to start turning it up. So, Greg, do you think playing in the preseason will solve Cincy's slow starts?
Well, they're off to the right start. I love this mindset. I love this change up, because in order to get a different result, you got to do something different. And this is something different. And in their defense, before I talk about, like, in the training camps that they've had previously, there's always been someone hampered. Either Joe Burrow's hampered with something and he's missing time, or Jamar Chase is not there because of contract issues. T. Higgins isn't present. So this is the first time we haven't heard any issues or injuries
for their offense, but
I'm talking
okay,
their offense, because when we think about the Cincinnati Bengals, we're not thinking about their defense.
Yeah.
It's about
we saw Burrow's numbers too.
It's about them getting off to a fast start. And for me, I love this approach, because when you watch the team that's on top in the AFC, what do they do in the preseason? They play their guys. You see Patrick Mahomes, you see Kelsey, you see their guys out there at least for 1, maybe even 2 series in the first preseason game. And so you know that you've always started in these holes. You can't continue to do that, understanding that it's going to come down to the last couple of weeks of the season every year, not only in your division, but even in the conference. And so these wins or losses at the beginning of the year will impact, like you did last year, you mentioned it right at the top of this, whether you make the playoffs or not.
This is the absolute right thing to do on Zach Taylor's behalf, or his part. As much as we talk about Burrow, and you showed the graphic, how he plays poorly early and improves, this is a Zach Taylor stat more than a Burrow stat. So, like, Zach Taylor, and we know if they don't have a good year, his seat is going to be burning up hot, right? So he's right to say, look, we got to do something different. Morning practices, maybe this is just me. I feel like a morning, making the guys get up earlier and be there in the morning, does show a little more seriousness. Like, look, we're doing something different.
Couldn't tell if that was.
I mean, that's how I feel.
The story is like he's practicing in the morning because, like, one of their themes is getting off to a fast start. It rang a little.
I just think anything you do differently, like Greg said, we know the definition of insanity. You got to do something different, and playing the guys. Brady played in the preseason. Mahomes.
Yeah, listen, just like, and I've said this before, and people be annoyed by it, but I'm just correct. Just like in the 20-aughts and 2010s, more teams should have been like, you know what? Maybe we should do in the draft. Trade back.
Yeah.
The Patriots keep doing it, and they keep always having this surplus of players. More teams, I think, should have looked at, you know how the Chiefs get off to these amazing starts, and I know the last couple of years the offense was a little slow early, but the team still wins. Like, what do they do in training camp? It's like, oh, Andy Reid has them hit and deals with the fact, like, Andy Reid will take the tax of, man, Hollywood Brown broke his sternoclavicular bone last year in the preseason, and something like that can happen, but we are going to be as ready as a team can be in September, while other teams, the almost working theory for the league has been, can't really judge anything until October anymore. Like, September is the new preseason. Yeah. The Chiefs are like, not for us. Yeah. And so we start out ahead. And I would like to give Zach Taylor a break, because part of it was Joe Burrow 3 years ago had appendicitis. And you know what I mean? And then 2 years ago, the calf. And then last year, the wrist. So, like, that's not Zach's fault. And I understand the idea of, well, if Joe's not playing, does it make sense to have, the rest of our offense out there?
Browning was cooking for a while, though, remember?
Oh, yeah. That is true.
They were 5-5.
But
they were like quarterback conference.
The point that you were alluding to, Brew, is really my take for the Bengals this year, which is because I don't think it's going to be different than last year. I don't think that, and maybe they don't start off with a horrific, embarrassing loss to a really bad team. But I think this will be Zach Taylor's last year.
Oh.
I don't think you can go 3 straight years and miss the playoffs.
Can't miss the playoffs.
With
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying I think they will.
Oh, if they do.
I think they are going to miss
know.
spoiler for predictions week. I don't have the Bengals in it, and if they miss the playoffs, I don't know how you can bring Zach Taylor back.
All right. Let's talk about the
team,
silver medalist. Mahomes sat down with Jarrett
Maybe
Bell
I
at
got the
USA
Browns.
Today.
Howard Shador.
Talked about opening up the offense more. Most recently seen when he connected with Xavier Worthy late in the Super Bowl, while Gatorade debuted a new flavor, Sirianni sweatshirt. There's plays on the football field that I didn't make last year. I've made in previous years. At the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. Whether it's passing for a lot of yards, not passing for a lot of yards. This sounds like Jalen Hurts, to be honest with you. If I play better, it's going to make it better for the team. Yeah. So I've got to be better at executing whenever the shots are there, making those throws. Dust, can we actually throw that graphic up just to give the statistical?
He's been terrible with the deep pass. We know the last 2 years. He used to be great. Now he's terrible. To bad rating. Blah 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 blah.
If you're listening on the podcast, first of all, thank you. Our passer rating goes from 112 to under 48, and touchdown interceptions in the early in his career, 45 to 12, and then the last 2 years, 4 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. It's not good. You deserve that, okay? If you're listening on the podcast.
Okay.
Do the Chiefs have to get these plays back to make the Super Bowl?
No. I don't see how you could sit here and say anything but no. Like the last 2 years, they haven't had them, and they've been, in the Super Bowl. Now, and the last 2 years, they had the 15th ranked offense in each of those last 2 years. Now, I'd love to see it. Everybody knows, of course, I want to see it. And I just think Mahomes wants to do it. Like when
that I can you know what? Fake news hat is fake news is real. I can report that as true. I can report. Sources close to Patrick.
This is what it was, and I bet Greg feels the same way. When you are a superstar, when you have that ability, you want to play like a superstar. Of course you want to win, but you want to play like a superstar. If you're a role player, if you're just a game manager, then I don't really care as much about the stats. I'm just trying to win. And, of course, I know Mahomes, that's the number one thing. But still, when I got that ability, if I can average 25 points a game, and I've done it several years, and I'm that level of player, I want to average 25. I don't want to average 15. I'm sorry. And I've said this, Nick.
Setting picks out there.
Yeah, I mean, really. I give Mark Aguirre credit. I know that's way back. But he's the one of the few guys that ever went to a team that was a star player and willingly said, I'm just going to be a role player. I've said this, Nick, is like Mahomes the last 2 years. It's kind of like LeBron in his prime averaging 15 or 17 points. Hitting the game-winning shot, playing well in the fourth. But still, I don't think LeBron James would be satisfied with averaging 15 points when he can give you 27, 7, and 7. So I think Mahomes wants to do it, and I hope he does.
Yeah, I think they do.
That they have
They
to.
have to
I think they have to. And clearly, they've been able to get to the Super Bowl with grinding out these wins. But you mentioned something, and you just reported it. Like, Mahomes doesn't want to continue to have to grind these games out. And when you think about the type of offense that they have the potential to be, if this is something that they add back into who they are, it's just even more scary for every defensive coordinator and every defense to have the ability for your quarterback to methodically move the ball down the field, knowing we better not let him get the ball last, because it doesn't matter where he's at on the field, he can execute. But also, now they're striking right away.
So they're
striking with 1 or 2 plays. What can we do? What can we that? Just having that in the back of your mind as a defender, that is problematic, and it bodes well for the offense.
So listen, I think that they have to do it in order to get the swagger back, which is, what you're alluding to. Because I understand it was a weird confluence of events that led to this, which is the way they won their last 2 Super Bowls, the actual Super Bowl games, and then the way the season 2 years ago went. The Super Bowl against Philly, They scored 38 points. And the longest play from scrimmage all game was the Mahomes one-legged run. You know what I mean? So, like, that was all. And he won league MVP that year, and it was a lot of short passes, but he still threw for 5,000, had
41
the next year, the offense is broken with the drops, and in the Super Bowl, arguably the two biggest drives of Mahomes' life to tie the Super Bowl, 11 plays, 64 yards, no huge ones. And then in overtime in the Super Bowl, a 13-play, 75-yard drive where, once again, the longest play is Mahomes running. So they did it that way, and it worked. And then last year they have everything going on. But here's why I think it's important. Because in the Super Bowl, I think one of the listen, the offensive line broke down, and maybe Philly's going to win that game no matter what. But one of the reasons I felt Patrick pressed was because being down 14 for last year's Chiefs team for the first time ever felt like a lot.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? Like they
got to get it back
before
right now.
they had ever won anything. They were down 24 in a playoff game, and nobody was stressed.
Nope.
It was like all right, it's going to be hard. But that's what's 24. That's probably like 9 plays if we do it properly. And I think that's what led to some of the Mahomes mistakes was he didn't think we're going to be able to get 7 back here. It's like I got to bang, I methodically do it. And so that's why I think it's important. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.